Hello, I think that today I'm going to use as a theme. I am inspired by some friends, a conversation with some friends who are feeling quite distraught about the environment and just general war-like um, circumstances in the world today. Um, and I've always been really impressed by Gretel Ehrlich's writing. She's written a lot about nature. She is from the West, and she spent much time in Greenland. And one of my favorite books is just called Ice. But she also wrote a book, I think it's called Match to the Heart, about how she was living alone in the West in a house. She went out riding and had a heart attack, and somehow got herself back to the house, um, and then went on a Buddhist retreat into a mountain in China, and then traveled the world exploring the natural world. But this is from her latest book. She wrote one of her first book was Solace of Open Spaces, and then 30 years later, in 2021, she wrote a book called Unsolaced: Along the Way to All That Is. And these are just a few quotes from it. The mind swims laps, memory is cantilevered over genetic turmoil, and the writing goes on as if from unseen instruction, silencing, cleaving, and destabilizing words and thoughts, while the hum in me, the human, pushes fragments into the semblance of story. Since Solace was published 36 years ago, everything and nothing has changed. Ecosystems are crashing. Terrorism sprouts and vanishes with devastating effect. Coronavirus is on a rampage, reminding us that the roulette wheel still spins. As the pandemic spreads, animals wander through empty cities, as if to say that we humans have been in the way all this time. Finally, the sharp lessons of impermanence I learned while writing Solace still hold true, that loss constitutes an odd kind of fullness, and despair empties out into an unquenchable appetite for life. During a chance meeting, the naturalist E.O. Wilson advised me to give up thinking we are doomed. It's our chance to practice altruism, he said. I looked doubtful, but he continued, we have to wear suits of armor like World War II soldiers and just keep going. We have to get used to the changes in the landscape and step over the dead bodies. We have to discipline our behavior and not get stuck in tribal and religious restrictions. We have to work altruistically and cooperatively and make a new world. So on that happy note, we will begin our practice. And we're going to focus a little bit today on grounding. So we'll just stand in Tadasana to begin with, and put our hands on our lower ribs and feel our breath coming into and out of our body, this beautiful being that we are in the world. So we're going to inhale through our nose, and we'll use Ujjayi breaths. So we'll have a sense of it actually like we're breathing through our nose and polishing a mirror. So we have a kind of throated sound here. So we're inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, exhale. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good. And now we're just going to raise our arms up. We can flex our fingers a bit at the very beginning, just to, and we can shake our limbs out, fix all of our fluids flowing in our body, make them move. We'll wiggle, do a bit of a wiggle dance at the beginning. Very good. And now we'll just raise our arms straight up above us and palms together. And we'll just stand here for a moment, and we will see if we can just take a little bit of a back bend in our upper body, whatever we can manage here. And then we're going to open our arms out again. And we can take a block if we like. We'll just stand with the block above our head, then take the block into our right hand, and then lower it down to our feet. And when we're at the bottom here, we're going to pass it to our left hand. And we're just going to look at it as it comes up. We're going to lift it up and hold it, and then we're going to move down again. We're just going to focus on this block, carrying it, lifting it, exchanging it, giving it from one hand to another, moving around here. And now when we're at the top here, we're going to reverse, and we're going to move the other way. We're going to move towards the left here. And we can actually turn our whole body to the left, and then to the right. And the block just gives us a little bit of a drishti or focal point for us while we're moving like this. And we've got the block up again. And we're going to bring the block down to the floor. We're going to do a couple of little balancing exercises here at the very beginning, because we're thinking of grounding ourselves. And we're going to just stand on the block. I've got my right foot on the block, and lift our left foot up and then lower it down. So we're bending our right knee here. And what we're doing is, and we'll feel our glutes here fire up a little bit. And we're just giving ourselves a little strengthening exercise that will be helpful for our balancing. So I'm just moving up and down a few times. And now I'm going to move to the other foot and do the same thing. And up and down, up and down. There we go. It should be about 10 times, I think. Good. And now we're going to come down, and we're going to do some balances at the very beginning. So we're just, once again, we're going to keep our breathing. We're breathing into our low ribs, and we're breathing into our middle chest and our upper chest, and we're keeping our collarbone up. So we're just going to do our little dance of the knee here. So our right knee's coming up, we're balancing on our left, and then back, and then forward, and then back, and then forward, and back. And this time we're going to take our foot and we can put it on our shin, our knee, or up here. It used to be that we used to say don't put it on your knee, but my biomechanics yoga instructor said that unless you have a knee injury, that isn't a problem, because your knee is not going to go sideways. It's just not built that way. And now we're going to try and balance here. I'm very imbalanced this morning, but I'm working on it. And we're breathing here. We're finding our focal point. Oops. And we may fall in and out of it, but that's life. All right, and then you can come down. And we'll do the other side. Now, my left foot is very wobbly, but my right foot is much better in terms of balance. So you may find the asymmetry of your body is a marvel. It has a history. It's when you fell down when you were racing your 8-year-old daughter down an icy sidewalk and broke your ankle. That's why my left ankle was not very good. There we go. And now we're just going to lift it up and put it inside here, into the inner part of your inner thigh. Feel your outer thigh pushing into your foot, your foot pushing into the outer thigh, and your bottom foot grounding into the floor. And now we're going to find a drishti, a focal point, and just breathe. You may be wobbly. You might find that your wobbles get worse, or they might get better. All right, you can bring your arms straight up if you like. And then you might fall down, but you can try again. Good. All right. Now we will try the eagle pose. We'll do another one. We'll do some more balancing. I have too much balancing. All right, so we're just going to go into child's pose. Whatever this is. How it's left me. And you're going to lift up and wrap your foot around your other foot, or you can put it on a block beside you. And your arms, if your right leg is over, you're going to take your right arm underneath and make eagle arms here. And you're going to be pushing your hands away from your face and lifting your elbows up. That's the movement as you sink down into chair pose. Sorry, slipped my mind for a minute. Chair pose, here we are. That's what begins this. And you can, of course, lift your foot up from the block and give yourself some balancing exercise and just use it as a little safety spot. And then you can just come up and open up. And we'll do it on the other side here. So here we are in chair pose. And then we lift one leg up. Put it on our foot. And then wrap our eagle arms around here. There we go. Very good. And once again, we can lift this foot up and just allow ourselves to really try this balance. It's full capacity. And all the time you're here, you're lifting your elbows up and you're pressing your hands forward. So you're giving your shoulders a lovely floss here. And now you're lifting up, coming around. Good. So we've started to move our shoulders a little bit, and we've done some balancing, and I think we're ready for some. We need to, whatever we think. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to just stand at the front. We're going to do some sun salutations. Cut right to the chase here. And I'll do some variations on sun salutation. So lift up your arms, look up, inhale, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale, right knee back. Exhale, look up. Inhale. Exhale, plank. And then lower down, however you can. Lift up into a back bend of some kind. And then on to downward dog. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Inhale. 2. 3. 4.
5. We're going to lift our right leg up and then bend it, bring it forward, bring our left leg forward, forward fold. We're going to stay here for a moment. We're going to feel you can have either bent knees or straight legs. And you can feel the energy moving up from your heels to your hips. And you can hold on to your shins or your ankles, and you can actually widen your elbows here, and it will help you descend a little bit and extend your hamstrings. Now, you don't have to do this too vigorously because gravity is helping you move down. This is a lovely inversion, and it's good to get our blood moving to our head. And we're just inhaling and exhaling here. I'm spending a bit of time preparing us, giving us a sense of groundedness, as we're feeling our feet moving into the ground. And now we're going to just open it up, all the way up, arms extended, and then rising up, our palms together as we look up. We can feel a bit of a back bend in our lumbar spine at the top. And then we're going to open up. Okay, inhale, look up, exhale, forward fold, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, palms to the ground. Inhale, left leg back, knee to the ground. Look up, exhale, and here you can do knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, and then up into a low cobra if you like, or an upward dog. And here we're going to rest for a minute, pushing into the ground with our palms, feeling the palms of our hands like a suction cup, pressing into the tops of our feet, and feeling our collarbone extending forward and up. And we're also sucking in our belly button so that all of the jewels of our organs are pressing into our spine, into our back body. And now we're turning our toes under and moving back into downward dog, exhaling here. And once again, we're going to just stay here for a few breaths. You can, in fact, if you like, you can do a little bit of toe work by coming up on your tiptoes and bending your knees and then pressing your heels down. Or you can move back and forth between one tiptoe and the other. And this helps you both extend it helps with the extension of your hamstrings and the back of your calves, but also it helps with your toes. It can sometimes get crampy. And now we're just breathing here, feeling the intensity of the grounding in our palms and in our toes, and possibly our heels if they reach the ground. If not, no matter. But we're really feeling, and we're feeling as though the diagonal between the top of our head and our tailbone, as though we're moving in opposite directions. Our head is moving one direction and our tail is moving in another. And we're pressing back with our thighs here. So we're really straightening our legs if we can. If not, no problem. Okay, and now we're going to lift our left leg up and bring it forward between our knees, between our hands rather, and then our right. And we're going to have another forward fold here. We can just hook our hands in our elbows and suspend ourselves. And once again, we feel the oppositional movements of yoga. Gravity is helping us descend, and we're pressing into our feet. We can even lift our toes up and spread them. We're pressing into our feet, and when we press into our feet, it's almost automatic that our tailbone, our tailbones start to rise up here. And then we're going to just come all the way up, inhaling, arms extended, looking up, and then coming down. Good. And we're going to do this a few more times. So inhale, look up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back, bent knee on the ground, look up, and down. And now we're just going to stop here, and we're going to just tip back and lift our foot up, and then move forward here, so that we are using this as an opportunity to do a few variations. And if you like, in this posture, you can lift the back knee up and straighten the front leg, and then bend it. So we're in a low lunge, and we're straightening the front leg, and then we're bending it. And here we're lengthening our hamstrings, and we're also, in this pose, we're also extending our hip flexors a bit. We're opening up our hip flexors on our other leg. Okay, good. And now we'll lower the knee, and we'll bring that leg back into a plank pose. And we're going to stay in the plank for a few minutes, inhaling and exhaling. This is very good for the core. We're sucking in our belly button to the spine. We're hooking our muscles to our bones. So this is a kind of isometric concept where you hug your muscles to your bones in your legs and your arms. And we're breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling this beautiful strength of our bodies. Feeling the quivering in our bodies as something building. And now we're going to just lower down, chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin, and up and forward into either a low cobra or an upward dog. And then back into downward dog. Going to lift our right leg up and bring it forward between our hands. And then we're going to drop our back knee, and we're going to stretch out that leg as well by lifting, straightening the front leg and lifting the sole of the foot, and move forward again, and then move back, forward again, and then move back, forward. And here we can just stay here in a low lunge and lift our chest. And we're going to move back, forward, and back, forward, and back. And if you like, you can lift your back leg, and it adds a little bit more stretch here so that both your legs are straight. And lower that knee down. And then we're going to bring our back foot forward into forward fold. And then we're going to, and we'll do this one more time. Open your arms, stand in Tadasana, feel how your body is at this moment in the class. You might be a little warm,
which is a good thing. We're going to just lift our arms up, look up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, left leg back, left knee to the ground, inhaling, arms up, exhaling into plank, and then down into the inhalation of a back bend of some sort, and then back into downward dog. And here we're going to just do some variations. So we can lift our right leg up, and we're going to bend it and stack one hip on top of the other and feel that foot come towards the left glute here. And you might want to keep the equal weight in the front arms, even as you're doing this. So there's a little bit of a twist in your body. And you can contemplate, if you like, you can contemplate what it would be like to drop that leg over on the other side and lift your right leg arm up and over into what's called wild thing. And just see how that feels. So you're arched up here and sort of on your end back. And then you can pivot around again and lift your leg up and bring it back down into downward dog and get settled again here. And we'll try that on the other side. We're just going to be breathing here, catching our breath, then lifting our left leg up, and then bending our knee so that one hip is over the other hip. And then we're going to feel that left leg drawing down towards the floor as our left arm lifts up, and we are on the outside of our front foot and on the ground, and our arms drawn over. We're feeling the arch of our body, and it's a very strong posture, but an interesting one. And now we're going to rotate back, put our left hand back down, lift our left leg up, and bring it down into downward dog, where we're once again going to find a bit of a center here. And from here, we're just going to move forward into an upward dog, and then we're going to move back into a downward dog. We're going to shift forward into an upward dog. Feel, press down into your hands. Feel your collarbone moving forward and up. And then press back, exhaling into your downward dog. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale through your nose. And we're going to come down into child's pose for a little rest. So here we are. You can spread your legs wide. Keep your hands in front of you, or you can bring them behind you so that they're laying beside your feet. And we're just going to take 3 breaths here. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll stretch our arms out in front. We'll move our hands over to the right to give ourselves a stretch. We'll have a big inhalation into our, I'm on my right, extending on my right side. So we're going to feel the left lung really inflate as we inhale. There's lots of space in the side body. And now we're going to walk the other way and feel the air entering our right lung, giving it a nice internal massage.
Inhaling and exhaling here a few times. And then we're extending out again. And we're going to press back up. And we can sit on our feet if we can, or find a comfortable spot here. We're just going to use our hands again to lift up. And then we're going to stretch forward. From here, we're going to go onto a tabletop and extend our right leg back, and then bring it forward into your pigeon pose. So it's on a diagonal, and your foot is pointed. If you can get it to 90 degrees, then you need to flex your foot, but in this position, you need to point your foot. And when you're here, you can feel really your chest moving, your collarbone is moving up and forward, and you are really feeling the beautiful curvature of your back. Here, it's a lovely back bend as you press into your hands. And you can move down, if you like, onto your forearms into a kind of sphinx place. And you can also move all the way down if that's in your wheelhouse. And you can put your head on the ground. We're breathing here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to move into having the other leg forward, so you can rotate around and bring that. In this case, it's my right leg back, and I'm switching it backwards. That's not really a word, but you know what I mean. And you're not symmetrical, as we mentioned earlier. So you may find that that it's more difficult on one side, so that's all right. You can put some support underneath your thigh if you need it. And we're just pressing into our hands and feeling the opening in our chest. And the right hip flexor is opening here too. And we may feel something in our left glute because we're stretching it out a bit. And now we're going to extend down into the Sphinx arms and feel the difference of what's the difference there. You can maybe wiggle back and forth a little just to see what the movement is there. And now you can come right down onto your forehead, or you can stay where you are. You can also use blocks, and you can support underneath the left thigh, left hip if you need it. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And on the next inhalation, we're just going to push back up. And we're going to rotate our back leg around so that it's crossed over into a twist here. And kind of a nifty way to get into a twist. So I've got my right knee up, and I'm going to raise my left arm up and really stretch it up. I'm going to push into the back. I'm using my right hand. I'm really stretching my right arm up. So I'm getting a lot of length in my body, and I'm pushing in with my fingertips into the back. So I'm extending my torso up, my axial. This is axial elongation, where we're really moving our spine up. And then as we turn, we're keeping that upward momentum and dropping that arm down. You can clasp your leg if you like, or use it as a bit of a lever here. And
feel that extension up and around as we do this beautiful spinal twist. And then we're going to rotate back, and we'll just put our fingertips in the ground here and press up and feel a little twist there. Now, sometimes I feel little cracks, creakings in my spine. It's kind of my own adjustment, which is very good. And then we're coming back here. And we're just going to, I'm going to stretch my knees out a bit and just shake them. And then I'm going to cross over my left leg over my right, and I'm going to bring this in. You can leave your other leg, this leg extended out if you like, or you can bend it in. And we're going to do the elongation. So I'm stretching my arm out. I'm even flexing my fingers. I'm reaching for the stars, reaching up towards the sky. I have many aspirations, as you do, for a better world and for a good life. Okay, so we're pressing up, and then we're going to turn around here and, oh, sorry, wrong arm. Sorry, this is the arm we're supposed to be pressing up, and, well, but anyway, we'll press that one into the ground and turn this around here. There we go. So we're really feeling, once again, I'm pressing into my backhand in order to gain some height as I turn. And sometimes with these muscles, it's sometimes good to let go and then to move back into the posture, because it allows the muscles to give you a little bit more movement. Because our muscles are kind of spindles, and the way they work is if you let the pressure off, they sometimes find extra movement. And now we're going to come back. We're going to press our fingers into the floor and twist towards the other side. And then we're going to come back here. And once again, I'm going to just shake my legs out. We'll do a little bit of some seated postures here, since we happen to be here. And I'm just doing Dandasana, staff pose, which is a straight back, straight legs, pressing into your feet, pressing into the toe mounds, and you can use a strap here if you like. And I'm just moving forward with a straight back. I'm just extending my hands down however far they go, and moving down with a straight back until I can't anymore, and then I'm just going to round, and you can hold onto your feet, hold onto a strap. I'm inhaling and exhaling as I extend here. I can use my elbows, bending my elbows out, and feeling having that as an instrument to allow me to move further down and further forward. And then I'm going to lift up, and I'm going to bring. We did the tree earlier. I'm bringing my foot into a tree pose. My right foot, I'm twisting slightly towards my left, and I'm extending out and holding on to the, I'm going to hold on to the outer edge of my shin or my ankle or the outer edge of my foot as I move down this way. And this affords us a different movement, a little bit of a twist, and you can fold over however much you can. And now we're going to lift up, and we're going to use the other leg in tree pose. pressing into that foot, twisting slightly, and folding over. Lowering down. Up. And we'll try a wide-legged pose here. And just see how we are doing here. So we're just going to extend forward, and I'm just putting my hands flat on the ground and walking forward with my fingertips, and then curling forward. And then I'm going to move over to my right leg and extend down. And then I'm going to move over to my left leg and extend down. And you can go sideways if you care. So put your forearm on the ground inside your leg, and then you can try that on the other side. See how that feels, if you can do that. And now we're going to come up, put our feet together. And here we can just practice opening up the groin a bit. You can open your feet up like a book if that's possible. And you can feel you don't want to put too much pressure into your groin, but you can just hold onto your feet and then use that to help your legs go into the ground, towards the ground here. Good. And you'll feel your spine elongating up. And as you open out your lovely legs here. Good. And we're going to come back in. And I think we're going to stand up and do some, I don't think we are standing up to do some standing postures because they are very enlivening and they help us recognize the strength and resilience that we hold in our bodies. So we'll do some of these. We're really warmed up now. We've got a lot of heat in our body from those stretches. And we're just going to, now you can either jump in a anchor, you jump 3 or 4 feet, or you can step 3 or 4 feet out. And we'll just do the Trikonasana or triangle pose first. So we're just going to put our foot out and feel the hip crease, the hips shift to the opposite direction, in this case to the left, as we extend our arm down. And here we're keeping space between our hips and our lower ribs on both sides. So this may inhibit us going down as far as we might like, but the point is to keep the integrity of the posture. And then lift our arm up and look up. So you're breathing into both sides of your back body, your side ribs, and your chest as you're in this pose. And now we can just stay here for a few more minutes, a few more breaths. Then we're going to rotate up and around, standing that leg out, the back leg on the diagonal. And once again, shifting our hips and our arm out and down and lifting our back arm up and looking up. we're trying to keep, once again, that extension, so we may not be able to go down quite so far. And we're breathing here. And we're feeling strength in our legs, pushing down, and we're feeling the elevation of our arm and our upper body. Our upper body is moving up, and our lower body is moving down. And now we're going to turn up again. We're going to just turn our foot over into our 45 degrees, or all right, out, stretch out, and then you can bring your hand down onto your thigh and raise your upper arm over and rotate your chest towards the ceiling. Inhaling and exhaling, pushing into the ground with your feet, with the outer back edge of your foot, and with the front foot. You can raise your toes up, raise your arches up, really feel the action in this movement, in this posture. And then we're going to come back and straighten that leg, turn around to the other side, bend your knee, and extend out, and then drop your arm to your thigh, raise your arm up. You can also drop your arm to the outer edge of your front foot, and or you can drop it to a block. And here we're just feeling that beautiful diagonal, straightening out the back knee, making sure that we're going down, 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 as well as up, up, up with our arm. So down, 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 and up. Rotating our chest and breathing deeply here. And now we're going to just up again, and we'll go into a reverse warrior here. We didn't do it on the other side, but this is always a lovely thing. And then we'll go back into our warrior two and into our reverse warrior. We'll do a little bit of a dance here, and forward, and then back one more time. And now we're going to straighten up, and we'll do that reverse warrior on the other side just briefly. So we're bending once again into the warrior two on the other side, and then we're going to come up into our reverse warrior. Breathing all the way through here, of course, keeping the focus on the breath. Good. And now we can just come up, and I think I've got something in my screen here. Sure. Okay. All right, so I'm just catching my breath in Tadasana, and I'm feeling, how does my Tadasana feel right now? I feel a bit looser. I feel warm. I can shift my weight from one side to another. I feel I've got some equilibrium here, front and back. How are my balances? Let's try a tree again, just to see how the tree has changed from the beginning of the class to the end. So we're going to lift our right leg up, put it in the interior of our thigh, press the outer thigh and the foot towards each other, and see how our balance is here. Oopsie. Breathing, focusing on your focal point, feeling it lifting up, and then lower that leg. We'll try it on the other side. And once again, we're pressing into our bottom foot and pressing our foot and our thigh together. And we're inhaling and exhaling here, please. And trying to maintain our drishti, our focus. Breathing here. So my balance improved a lot between the beginning of class and the end of the class. That's a good thing. All right, so let's do some work, supine work on our backs. So we'll just move down onto our backs now. And I think we'll actually do a boat pose, which is one of my favorites because it's hard to do. So we're going to be balancing on our buttocks here. You can lift one leg up, and then the other leg, one leg up, and then the other leg, and then both legs up, and then both arms up and balance. Now, you may not be able to do this, so you can keep your feet down or one foot down, or you can continue to tap down if you like, or you can just hold here and feel your core becoming an Iron Maiden. And now you can come and hold onto your legs. You can just round over them and breathe and relax. We'll do this one more time. Maybe we'll do it 2 more times. Okay, we'll come up again. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling our core strengthen. Looking at our tippy toes. Straightening those legs. Straightening the arms. Feeling the power in your body. And then we're going to come down again and embrace ourselves. Give ourselves a big hug. This is a lot of work. And then one more time. Extending out into boat. Navasana. And then we're going to, once again, hold ourselves here. And we're just going to roll down and do a complementary pose because we're going to be doing bridge. And this allows us to open our chest again, give us a bit of a back bend after that, the stress of the Navasana. So we'll tip our tailbone up, and then we'll roll our vertebrae down. We'll tip our tailbone up and raise our hips up a little, and then we'll roll them down. We'll do this one more time. Just tip the tailbone up, raise them up, hips up, and then roll them down. And this time we're going to press into our feet. Our knees are together, and our arms are extended. We could hold onto the sides of our mat, or we can lift our hips up, clasp our hands underneath us, roll our shoulders under, press into our upper arms and our feet, and feel our hips rise up, feel our knees, our thighs rising. Our knees we're pushing them towards the opposite wall, and our chest is coming up here. So feel your chest open, feel your pelvis pressing up, and now you can roll down. And we'll do that another time. You can bring your knees into your chest if you like, and roll your back on the floor. Give yourself a little massage, and then put your feet down again. Press into the ground. Lift your hips up. Lift your chest up, and clasp your hands, and push into the floor with your feet, with your upper arms and your shoulders, and feel the extraordinary energy we all possess. Opening up your breath, opening up your chest,
And now extending your arms out as you roll vertebrae by vertebrae down. And you can lift your legs up one more time. You can reach into the inside of your knees, clasp your feet, soles of the feet to the ceiling, and you can roll a little bit here back and forth. You can just jiggle your way into a lovely back massage in this happy baby pose. Good. Now, extend your legs back onto the feet back onto the ground, knees bent. And you can try this. You can lift your right leg up, hook it over the outside of your left thigh, then lift your hips up, shift them towards the right, drop your legs, your knees to the left. So you're just twisting here. And if that's too much, you can unhook your legs and just drop them open onto the side. If you like, you can put your hand on your outer thigh. You don't have to put much pressure, but it just gives it a little bit of an added twist. And then you look out towards the opposite way from your knees. So your neck is getting a little bit of a workout here. If you have trouble with your neck, don't bother doing this. But you can breathe here. We can just rest here for a minute. This is a good posture just to stay. You can also, the extended arm on the opposite side of from your knees, you can use that like a second hand, and you can floss your shoulder here a bit. If you reach a sticky point, just lift your hand up over top of the floor and you won't injure yourself at all. And we can go all the way around here and back again. Now we're going to put our feet back on the ground, find our center of gravity again with our sacrum on the ground. We can wiggle, we can windshield wipe our knees back and forth a little, and then put our feet on the ground again and find that center of gravity. I find that my body's a little bit off kilter just because it's been stretched so much on the other side. So this time I'm going to lift my left leg up, bend the knee, and wrap it around my right thigh. Then I'm going to lift my hips up, shift them towards the left, and drop my knees towards the right. And I've got my shoulder out on the ground, hopefully. And if this is too much, just unhook your legs. And I've got my hand gently on my thigh, just giving it a little bit of stability here. And a little bit of pressure, but not too much. And I'm going to rotate this arm, this extended arm, opposite the legs, around like the second hand of a clock. And then this magical clock, we can take time forward or back. There are a few experiences in my life that I'd like to have again. So I can pretend that I'm arriving there again. One of my favorite moments is when I adopted my daughter. It was such a powerful experience. I never birthed a child, but seeing my daughter for the first time was the most magical of experiences. And just rotating my arm. It was in a hotel in the south of China, and I saw her, and I just was so eager. I just thought I was going to jump out of my skin. She was so lovely. She was about 17 months. And I'm just rotating in this time machine of my arm, enjoying the bliss of this memory. And now we're back again with our feet on the ground and our sacrum on the ground. And now we're lifting our feet up just to embrace our legs, lift our head up. And then we can just extend our legs out. And it's about that time. We can have a brief Shavasana. Extending our legs out, our arms out. We're shifting our body. We're having a little bit of a body scan, seeing where there's any tension. We can shake our head from side to side, lift our shoulders up to our ears and then drop them down. We can extend our arms out, flick our fingers a few times, shake our hands and then drop them down. We can squinch up our toes, stretch them out. We can twirl our feet around and extend and rotate around our ankles. And then we can drop our feet down. Then we can lift our legs up, drop them down, lift our hips up, drop them down. We can shake our whole body a little on the floor. Then just relax into that beautiful Shavasana we deserve after that good yoga class. And we're inhaling all of the goodness in the world, and we're exhaling all of the toxicity. We're inhaling and we're exhaling. We're inhaling and we're exhaling. We're inhaling compassion and we're exhaling hatred. We're inhaling care and we're exhaling competition. We're inhaling love and we're exhaling whatever isn't love. And then we're just breathing easily and relaxing for a few moments in silence. And I'll call you back. And I'll return to Gretel Ehrlich. Everything is moving, but there's so much we can't see. How thought comes into being, how grasses and trees connect, how animals know weather, experience pleasure and love. So often we miss the whole fabric aspect of where we live and our own consciousness embedded within it. We are not interrelated
but intra-branched, one branched wound round another and fused into a single embrace. Our lace-like nervations have overlapping frequencies. It's what the Greenlanders simply call silla, consciousness, weather, and the power of nature as one. If nothing else, we are what the physicist Richard Feynman called scattering amplitudes, holes within unbounded totalities. And you can feel the little nerve endings at the end of your fingers come alive again. And you can feel a little bit of tickling on your toes. There's a little breeze blowing across your body as it wakes up and comes back into this beautiful day. And in your own time, you can either stay where you are or you can roll onto your side and come to a seated position where I will say, the teacher in me salutes and honors the teacher in you, and the student in me honors the student in you. We have so much to learn our whole life long. Thank you very much for joining me this morning or this afternoon or whenever you're doing your yoga. Have a marvelous day.